I'm Natasha Chilingarian.
I'm Michael Ogden. This is Shared Accounts with CU Times, sponsored by Q2. Thank you, Q2. Mwah. Hey, Natasha, producer Zach, it's May, which means Mother's Day, which means we're going to play a game about moms.
Okay.
You guys okay with this?
Sure. No, that's
I'm
cute.
okay with that.
All right.
Very fitting.
I am calling this game Listen to Your Mother. Okay. A little aggressive. Okay. So here's the thing. I'm going to have 5 quotes said by famous moms on TV or in the movies. I'm going to say the quote and you say the mom, whomever has the answer. Okay.
Okay.
Try.
Fairly easy. A few of them are not. Okay. Which movie mom famously tells her son, life is like a box of chocolates?
Mrs.
Forrest
Gump.
Gump, but I don't know I don't know her name.
Mrs. Gump.
Mrs.
is no
Gump?
first
Oh,
name.
okay. So she didn't have a name.
Did she not have a first name?
I don't think so.
Oh.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Okay.
This might be, well, I won't give you a hint initially, but here it is. Which determined movie mom advises her son to, quote, decide what kind of man you want to grow up to be? Does that sound familiar at all?
No.
Okay. The only hint, okay, I'll start with this hint. Arnold Schwarzenegger was in this movie. Who's the mom? In the Terminator series.
Okay, Sarah Connor?
Sarah Connor.
Oh. All right. Good job.
Okay. That was kind of a hard one. Let's try this one. Guess the mom. Here's the quote. I am your mother. I brought you into this world and I can take you out. She famously a strict kind of TV mom, older.
One of my family recordings?
Yeah, no. She was the matriarch of Everybody Loves Raymond.
Oh, that one. Okay.
Do you remember her
Yeah,
name?
I know.
Doris something.
That was her real name.
Oh.
Marie.
Oh, Marie. Okay.
Marie Barone.
Got it.
I remember that one. What a popular show that was.
That was.
Okay, this one is timely. Which frantic mom says this while trying to get home to her son? Quote, you'll always be my little boy.
Okay, I know I know why it's timely because it was Catherine O'Hara in Home Alone, right? And her name was, what was her name?
I know it was McAllister.
McAllister. Yep. What was her name?
Kate.
Kate. Okay.
I wouldn't.
I was going to say Carol. I'm sorry. I totally.
I would not have gotten
that one, but I knew
first
as soon as
name.
she said this is timely, I could picture her running through the streets of New York or whatever. And,
Sweetheart. Okay, last one. This is the comical one here. Okay, guess the mom. Here's the quote. If I did it in her voice, you would totally get it, but I'll just say it. Okay, here's the quote. Let's not fight. Remember what I told you. Violence is never the answer unless someone hits you first. Cartoon mom.
Is it Lois?
Nope.
That's the only cartoon mom I know of, like, off the top of my head. Lois Griffin.
Oh, Lois Griffin. That's a good guess. Same network. Marge Simpson.
Oh, Marge Simpson. Okay. That's an obvious one, I guess.
Was that. So those were a little harder than I thought they were going to be, but I thought, it'll kind of be funny.
Yeah.
So it looks like Zach might have a dog problem going on right now. So we'll just
it's a crying daughter problem.
Crying daughter and dog. Okay.
Oh boy.
It's okay. We love you, Zach's family. And hey, everybody else, we love you too. Welcome to Shared Accounts with CU Times. Coming up, we are catching up with Bryce Mortensen. He was a 2025 Luminaries finalist for Innovation in Tech CIO CTO of the Year when he was at Arrow Financial in Phoenix, Arizona. Heard of it? He is now serving in his first ever CEO gig up in Portland, Oregon, where Natasha's from. He is at Oregonians Credit Union. He is a really nice guy. We do a lot of fun stuff, including with AI. We'll get into that soon. But first up, let's take a break from the week. Check in with Natasha. Hey, Ann.
Hey, Em.
How are you?
I'm pretty good.
Great.
Yeah, Oregon. I'm actually in Oregon right now. It is pouring rain.
Pouring in Oregon.
Pouring in Oregon. Pretty common occurrence, I
Yeah, I
suppose.
suppose it is. Yeah, no, good to hear you. It's been a very busy year so far. I can't believe we're already this far into the year.
Mhm.
But speaking of that, in the break that we're actually supposed to be taking right now on the show, what have you been watching?
Yeah, so I watched a pretty interesting and kind of unexpected, it was like a mini series
Mm-hmm.
because I've been just been visiting my parents for this past week, and my mom had just got a new subscription to BritBox and is super
Oh,
into
yeah.
it. It's like
Great.
really into, the British shows, and because it's like
Nice.
new shows that maybe you wouldn't know about or hear
Yeah.
about normally.
Mm-hmm.
We watched a mini series. It was like a 4 episodes called What Remains.
Uh,
I just pulled it up on my IMDb app because I was curious when it was from. It's actually from 2013, so it's a bit older.
uh-huh.
But it is, and I think you might actually like it because I think you mentioned once that you like the British detective
Oh, I
shows.
love that
So
stuff. Yeah.
it's basically like who done it.
Yeah. I
And
love
it
it.
centers around a building, like a building of like flats. Like I wouldn't call it an apartment complex because it's like an old house, but it's like
Okay.
maybe 6 flats in it. And they discover a body in like in the attic that's been
Mm.
there for like years. And then there's this detective, he's just like retiring,
Mm-hmm.
but this one case, he like keeps going. He's like, "Oh, I have to find out what happened." And it all kind of centers around like the lives of all the people in this flat building and how they're connected, and kind of
Mm-hmm.
keeps you guessing on like who it was. And yeah, I've enjoyed it. It was
Nice.
interesting. Yeah. So
BritBox, you can't go wrong with it. It's really
right,
great.
right. Yeah.
Oh, that's
So I would
fun.
recommend it if you're looking
Yeah.
for something kind of fun and keeps you guessing. I thought the acting was pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't really recognize any of the actors in
Yeah,
it
probably not.
necessarily, but
Yeah.
maybe they were big back then in the UK. I don't know.
Let's just say they were.
Let's
Yeah.
just
Okay. Congratulations,
yeah,
everybody involved. Yeah.
yeah. All right, Michael, what have you been watching?
You know what? I decided to revisit a super bleak and depressing movie that I
Oh,
just love.
okay.
It's 2011's Melancholia,
Oh,
directed
yes.
by Lars von Trier, who's a really crazy person. But this one is with Kirsten
Kristen
Dunst,
Dunst. Yeah.
yeah, Kiefer Sutherland, Alexander Skarsgård, Charlotte Gainsbourg, who I love. And again, I've seen it before, and I really enjoyed it, despite how, again, bleak it
It is
is.
bleak, yes. And I've actually seen it. I saw it about maybe 10 or 12 years ago.
Hmm.
And yeah, I agree. It very, very, very dark. Isn't it that the Earth is like about to collide with another planet?
Yeah.
Is that what happened?
Yep, that's part of it. It deals well, I don't want to spoil the whole thing, but
Yeah.
here's my review of it. Legit, give it 4.5 stars. I just
Mhm.
really enjoyed the movie, and I shouldn't maybe, but I wrote it's the most rewatchable, beautiful, bleak thing,
Yeah. Okay.
and it's really about depression, is what it is. But yeah, the earth ends and all of this, but it's so beautiful. It's just a gorgeous
Really well,
movie.
yeah. It's doesn't have like a lot of dialogue really. It's like not
No, it's
very
pretty
dialogue
quiet.
heavy. It's a quiet movie. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's kind of like, yeah, depression in general, but then also depression around like, oh, well, the world's about to
Oh,
end.
world's
So,
about to end.
all
Yeah,
right.
but it's just a gorgeous movie, though. I
All
really
right.
love it.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
That's
Yep.
it.
I love the dark, bleak stuff. I don't know what that says
Same,
about
man.
us, but I love me a good dark movie or a dark book.
It's like, yeah. I mean, I love West Side Story. Absolutely, could watch that every single day. Same with this movie. I don't know what it is, and they're two
Right.
really different movies.
Okay. Well, real quick, if you
Yeah,
want a dark book to put on your list that's
please.
very depressing,
Okay.
but really good, it is called, I'm trying to find yeah, okay, I found the author name. It is called Bad Things Happened in This Room by Marie Still.
Okay.
Just, I won't say what it's about. Not
Yeah.
only
Don't.
because I don't want to
I
spoil it,
love
but
going
it's
into
also
books
like
blind.
extremely probably
All right.
trigger alert for some
Okay.
people.
Well,
But
we won't
anyway,
get into that, but
anyway,
yeah,
there
I'll
you
read it.
go. Okay, that's
All right.
one that,
Thanks.
yeah, more dark stuff for your reading and viewing pleasure.
Okay.
But yeah, let's go on to something less dark. The interview with
Yeah.
Bryce. Yeah, we had a great time. We're really happy to have him on again. As you know, as a former luminary, we love highlighting those folks.
Oh, yeah.
He is a brand new CEO. So not only in his first CEO role, but also at a brand new credit union, came from Aero Financial, now at Oregonians Credit Union, just outside of Portland
Yep.
in my hometown, actually, in Milwaukee, Oregon. That's actually where I went to high school. It's in
Okay.
Clackamas High School in Milwaukee, Oregon.
Very good.
Yeah, we had a great time chatting with him. I thought it was a really nice look into kind of the life of, like a look inside the brain of, a new CEO in that kind of transition period.
Yeah.
I'm sure is really different for everyone that's in
Mhm.
that position. But I always find that interesting to find out how that's, going with the, culturally and how they're kind of approaching, building relationships with their leadership team and, how they might differ from the previous CEO and
Uh-huh.
things they're bringing to the table. So yeah, I thought it was really cool. Talks about as far as digital strategy, because he actually has an IT background as well himself. So he's really plugged in with
Yeah.
the digital and tech side. Talks about how he's going to be using that to connect more with the younger generation. So yeah, I think it's a really valuable interview for our listeners who might be
100%.
considering the CEO transition or just want to know what it's like.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have that. And then we have it's a shared accounts with CU Times first, for sure. Some musical elements that
Yep.
we'll be incorporating into this interview
Yep.
and music and AI. So we'll just leave it
Ah.
at that and let you be surprised. We had a lot of fun with it.
Tom Petty, CU Times, and AI. How's that?
And AI, yeah, those will be your 3 hints. We'll keep you guessing. All right. So
Great.
stick around. We have all that coming up next.
Hey, listeners, you know what? Account takeover fraud doesn't happen at just one moment. It does not. It unfolds across the member journey from login to session behavior to transaction activity. Q2's continuous account takeover protection helps credit unions identify suspicious actors earlier, apply the right friction at the right time, and stop fraud before it harms members. For a smarter way to detect account takeover sooner, act faster, and protect members with more confidence, visit q2.com/solutions/fraud-intelligence. That's q2.com/solutions/fraud-intelligence. Thanks, Q2.
Joining us in the virtual studio today is Bryce Mortensen. He is the CEO of Oregonians Credit Union out in Milwaukee, Oregon, which is just outside of Portland. Hey, Bryce, welcome to Shared Accounts.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for joining. And also welcome to Oregon. I understand you just recently moved for your new job. So how you liking it so far?
I do like it. Obviously, I think we joke around that I come from Phoenix, Arizona, born and raised. And when we were looking for a new position, we just wanted to find something with such a similar climate.
Oh yeah.
So we thought Oregon. I mean, hey, it's so many similarities to Arizona, but no, it's been great. I've really loved kind of getting out on the weekends and just
Oh,
doing the
nice.
hikes and seeing trees and
Oh, yeah.
forest and green and wet and all those things that we don't see. And it's just beautiful.
Oh yeah.
That's
It's
awesome.
a really gorgeous state.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and the summer is going to be beautiful, so stay tuned for that. I grew up in Oregon, just because I know we've talked about this, but just in case our listeners don't know.
Right.
Yeah, it's a real treat in the summer for sure. But yeah, lots of changes for you recently. So, not only moving to a new state and experiencing that, but in your first CEO role now. So how are you feeling about that so far? How's that going?
So far, so good. So, I mean, I think at this point in time, I can kind of joke around with the team as right now it's been all talk essentially.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I've laid out the plan and kind of what we want to do, and I think everybody's on board with it, and it sounds great, and I actually feel confident in it as well. But
Good.
I think really the rubber's going to kind of meet the road here soon, and we're going to have to start making that a reality, and it can't just be all talk. So, but so far so good. I'm really excited. Oregonians is just really poised for growth. I've been really fortunate in the spot that I've landed. I had a really great CEO transition with the outgoing CEO, Sam.
Great.
And I've heard horror stories, honestly, in the industry about CEO transitions
Sure.
Oh wow.
and kind of how some of those can not go very well. And
Yeah.
Sam really laid out, honestly, kind of the playbook. So
Yeah.
when I hang him up someday, I'll follow exactly how he did it. He did it the right way, in my opinion.
Mhm.
And Oregonians is in really good shape. I didn't walk into a dumpster fire or anything like that.
That's
Yeah.
So they're very solid financially, and I'm just really excited to kind
awesome.
of get things going and kind of see what the next chapter brings for Oregonians.
That's really, really cool. But before you, you kind of went through your whole career there to retirement in that one answer. It's really funny. But let's take a step back a little bit to your previous role as it was EVP at Arrow Financial. Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. When
Correct.
did you first begin kind of pursuing the idea of becoming a CEO? And how did you prepare for that?
Yeah, good question. Because I don't think it was always in grade school thinking like I'm going to become a CEO of a credit union someday. Like
Sure.
it was never, I think, and even while I got into the industry, so I kind of got in through the IT side. Is kind of how I came through the
Oh.
ranks. And really, it was probably about, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago. At the time, I was the VP of IT over at Arrow, and we had a great culture, great credit union, great thing going.
Hmm.
And the CEO there, he kind of announced, "Hey, it's time to retire, and
Yeah.
so we're going to go look for a new CEO." And it was really about that moment is kind of when you start getting hit with kind of the emotions. I mean, he was a great guy. I loved working for him, and I was kind of like, man, I don't want some other knucklehead coming in here and ruining what we have. I can say that now because the
Sure.
way it all worked
Sure.
out is great. But
Right.
it kind of more of a defensive, kind of like, hey, I don't want this to get messed up. I kind of looked around at like
Yeah.
my coworkers and was like, no, I gotta protect this in a way. And so I threw my hat in the ring, and I wasn't. It was a good opportunity for me to kind of really do a lot of self reflection too, because I wasn't ready, and I can see that now. There was things that I was lacking, and kind of seeing how I compared to the other candidates and their educations and their experience and some of the things that they had. It did
Yeah.
expose kind of the gaps that I needed to kind of shore up. And in the end, I kind of use that jokingly like a knucklehead. The CEO over at Arrow Financial is where I came from, Mike Moy.
Hmm.
He was phenomenal. I learned so many things from him. He was a great mentor. I think he really showed me, I think, in a lot of ways how a credit union should be run and everything else. So I
Cool.
couldn't have had a better experience with it, even though what kind of triggered that kind of change in mentality was really then is like, hey, wait a minute. I don't think I wanted somebody coming from the outside. And then the more I thought about it, I kind of started thinking, you know what, maybe I could do this someday.
Oh,
So
Yeah.
that's, I guess, maybe the impetus of all of that, but it wasn't something that I think I always wanted
yeah.
to do type of thing.
Right. Okay. So you can really thank him, his decision to retire, for spurring you on this new path.
No, he's been
Or,
phenomenal. Or yeah, the outgoing CEO, he was phenomenal. Mike, the one who came that just left, he was phenomenal. A great
Hmm.
mentor, and in all honesty, even when I kind of told him I was going to take the CEO position over at Oregonians, and you never know how sometimes people treat once you kind of leave. Sometimes it's like, yeah, well, good luck. Well, don't. I mean, not always like we don't let the door hit you on the way out kind of thing, but
Yeah.
he was just really just super helpful and kind of in a way that the way I had like an exit from there was just made me feel really good, and the way he treated me, which I really wasn't expecting. Not that I expected him to treat me poorly,
Mm-hmm.
but just really well. And I have to compliment him and the whole team over there.
Sweet.
They're all great.
Nice.
yeah. Awesome. Wanted to ask you about, because I know, just from our perspective, we hear about all the new CEO announcements that come up throughout the industry. And yeah, a lot of times there are people that are promoted from within, to the CEO role. Sometimes they'll be, interim CEO, and then they'll just take on the full CEO role. But in your case, going from one credit union to another and then joining a credit union for the first time as CEO, what do you think are some of the advantages of that path of coming from the outside and then going in kind of fresh, as opposed to I guess Oregonians having promoted someone from within?
Yeah, I have had some thoughts on that even before kind of the question. So this is
Yeah.
kind of good to, I guess, where I'm kind of going with that now is I did a lot of things as EVP, got my hands really into the weeds, which was great over at Arrow. But I think kind of maybe some of the struggles that maybe a CEO might have kind of moving up in the ranks of a current credit union is a lot of times you know how to do something. And so it's easy to just kind of keep doing it type of thing. Whereas
Mhm.
me coming in from the outside, I think it kind of protects me a little bit from myself. Like I understand a lot of the computer systems and things like that, where I could tell my team, hey, I know how to fix this. And I could just get in there like, hey, here, give me the mouse. Let me just go ahead and do that right now. And I don't think that's really good for the team long term, or really even the organization. So I think coming in from the outside, it's kind of good that I don't have access to those things. And I don't have that historical knowledge. Like I can bring in maybe, hey, here's what we need to be doing, but really letting the team kind of then go do, and they can kind of earn their stripes, and they can kind of learn all those things that I had learned over the course of my career, and that'll only make them stronger and make them better leaders, and really honestly potentially set them up for a similar path if that's what they choose. So in a lot of ways, I think it might be good. It kind of protects me from myself in some ways of just trying to get in there. And like I said, I came from IT. Like I like to solve and fix problems. And I think if you get too deep into the weeds, I don't think it's okay to do at times. I think especially at our size of a credit union where you might need that to kind of come in, but it really shouldn't be the norm is my opinion on it. And I think really letting the leadership team here kind of learn and grow and kind of having me out of the way is, I think, a positive.
Okay. I want to ask about the culture, though, because we do get fascinated with credit union operations. And when you were interviewing for this gig as CEO, what about Oregonians credit union culturally appealed to you? And maybe what was the difference between Arrow?
Yeah. And honestly, I think part of what appealed to me was the similarities
Oh,
to
that,
Arrow.
you know what? Totally makes sense.
So Oregonians has been on a very similar path and trajectory, similar size, similar struggles, similar. I mean, we run even the same core system that Arrow ran about 4 or 5 years ago. So I'm very familiar with the core system they're on now. And so I know the path of where Arrow kind of came from and where Oregonians is going to be heading. And so kind of being able to guide that and really just kind of see kind of how it worked for a previous credit union, but really similarities in culture was probably what really attracted me. I think when you come in as an incoming CEO and having gone through it with another CEO coming in kind of in the leadership team, there's always that fear of, okay, who's this new guy? What's he going to bring? Is he going to disrupt everything? Is he going to let everybody go? Is he like, there's all these like fears that you can kind of come up with in your mind. And honestly, I kind of told the staff here is that I kind of had maybe similar fears coming in from the outside. I left a really good opportunity over at Aero Financial. I had a good thing going, and to go to another organization with maybe somewhat of an unknown culture, I could see things online and kind of their reviews and just kind of who they were, but you never really know until you get here. And I think they were at ease probably the first day or two I was here. And likewise, I was at ease the first day or two I was here, saying like, okay, this is a good fit.
Nice.
Kind of thing.
Nice. Yeah. Sounds like, kind of a comfort level there. So it's not such a drastic change from before. But I wanted to ask you about something else just now that you're at Oregonians. We were chatting earlier and you mentioned that Oregonians Credit Union, like looking back at maybe the 90s, the 2000s, that it's been a little, you use the word conservative in its, I guess, actions, and that you feel maybe it's time to be a little less conservative now, so potentially more, like maybe taking more risks. Wondering if you could tell us what did you mean by that exactly, and what might that look like now that you're there?
Yeah, I guess maybe that's just a little bit of just, I guess, the credit union industry, according to Bryce, essentially. And I think the landscape's changed just a little bit in how things used to work. So, I mean, for years and years, I think everything was just kind of, I don't know, credit unions were seg based, and you would have like this really exclusive membership that would be kind of tied to like a very specific like employer group or a specific community type of thing. And so I think with where things have evolved, I mean, with a lot of different mergers and things like that, I mean, you could kind of pin some of that on mergers. You could pin some on just kind of the different, I guess, charters and things like that are out there. Is we no longer have the exclusivity that we used to have. It used to be that, hey, I work for this school district or I work for this company and I get this really good benefit that nobody else can join. I can join this credit union and get really great rates. And that was kind of really common in the past. Now, I mean, honestly, you can go online, you can join just about any credit union locally that you could ever want to join. You can join credit unions nationally. Like that barrier to exclusivity has kind of evaporated. So we have to compete a little bit differently. Now we're kind of not playing in our own sandboxes. We got to kind of play kind of with each other in kind of a more diverse market. And with that, I think that just kind of needs to have some adaptations in the way we kind of work. So it isn't all just about just having a really low rate. I think a lot of it's just kind of the way we kind of go out with our products, the way we market, trying to market and kind of appeal to younger generations. We don't just have that just flow of just members that just we didn't have to do anything and they would just come. So I think a lot of that has changed. So I think kind of getting into more of I guess I kind of say it, just the realities of what we live in now. We have to be a little more creative in our products, and we have to be a little more creative in our marketing and our technologies that we offer and things like that. So that's maybe a little more what I meant. As far as conservative, we just can't work how we used to in the 90s and the early 2000s.
Which actually completely segs right into into this next question about your digital strategy. What does that look like at Oregonians?
Good question. I think we have to kind of I think there's often a complacency in the credit union industry. I mean, to be honest, about kind of what's good enough. Like, yeah, we can check these boxes and we're offering, I guess, the basic technology needs. And yes, that you can still kind of function and you can do what you basically need for members. But I really think that at least and maybe it's my background as an IT, because I mean, you get good at using a hammer and then you start kind of going to that. I mean, with technology, I think we really need to be really kind of top tier technology. I think we're not even competing against other credit unions. It's fintechs. It's all these other things that are pulling away. And I think we have to look at it differently than just, we can do those things. Like, we need to really be putting technology at the forefront. I mean, Gen Z is a very, very interesting generation and demographic. And when I say that, I don't ever want people to think when we talk generations, I'm never disparaging like a generation.
Oh, no, of course.
They bring so much to the table, but we all kind of have our little kind of quirks in generations. And Gen Z, I mean, they kind of talk about them being just these digital natives, actually kind of like mobile. Like, the first devices sometimes they got was a cell phone.
Right.
And that's kind of what they prefer to use. Whereas I kind of grew up from dial-up and computers and things like that. I mean, I might prefer a desktop as my preferred kind of device to use, but Gen Z, they love mobile. I mean,
can I tell you something, Bryce?
Yeah.
I finally saw, I forget who it is. I will try to look this up, but I finally saw an ad the other day. It was a generational ad, and it was, maybe somebody our age or something, terrified to buy like their airline ticket on their phone instead of their desktop, just how terrifying it was for them. But I have to do it on my desktop. And they were like, no, you don't. There was this whole fight. It was really funny. I'm just saying, I think finally organizations are seeing the differentiation as a positive and like, all right, come on, let's all catch up with Gen Z is really what we're doing now.
And it's always been kind of a tough cookie to crack.
It has.
A little bit because, I mean, the industry's talked for years about like, hey, we're overall, a lot of times the credit unions are kind of aging. You can look at the average age of member and it keeps climbing.
It does.
And I think there's kind of I don't know, we did some kind of studies and some things like that over at Arrow Financial. And I kind of, my joke that I would kind of use is when you talk to like Gen Z and you talk about a credit union, they'll kind of be like, oh yeah, I think my grandma and grandpa bank at one of those things. So like that's kind of their mentality. And I think kind of maybe shifting that and kind of trying to ensure that, we do have the features and the products that they need. That way we're not getting, fintechs aren't kind of eating our lunch, which they kind of are, but we need to make sure that we're putting a strong offering out there to Gen Z especially. So that's essentially the technology plan, is just making sure we're partnering with not just a good enough vendor here and there, that we're going after the top tier vendors in the industry.
Right. Well, and what would you say, like the age group skews towards at Oregonians? And I know credit unions are different.
Good question.
This wasn't one of the questions I had predetermined, but I just thought of it. Like, are you serving more of the boomers, would you say, if you look at the whole membership, and that you're going to have to try to attract more of the younger crowd, or is it kind of spread out among everyone? at this
Yeah,
point?
you know what? It's a phenomenal question, and in full disclosure, I think I just hit 60 days here, so I haven't even looked.
Oh yeah, no,
So,
that would
but
take some. Yeah, I know you have to like dig in, I guess, and
no, you're
figure it out.
right. And but at the same time, I would almost, without even looking at the numbers, just credit unions in general, I think have, and not all credit unions, because I'm sure there's some that are out there and they're successful in winning and getting Gen Z, but I think it's always been a concern. So it's something we'll definitely have to look at. And not that we necessarily want to cater only to the younger members kind of thing,
Hmm.
but generally more solid technology, that's going to benefit, I mean, all generations, if you're focusing on that to be a good utility or a service kind of for the members. And
Yeah.
I've talked to kind of the staff a little bit that I think going back to how we said kind of conservative, I think member service is the definition of that is it's shifting. I think we have to shift the way we kind of think about that, because you'll go into just about any credit union. If we talk to any credit union in the industry, they'll say, yeah, we got phenomenal member service. You come walk in, we're personable, we help. And that is true. I think that is 100% true. I'm not trying to disparage that
Hmm.
with what people would say is a strength, but I think Gen Z looks at that a little bit differently. They look at service as, hey, can I do everything on my mobile phone without having to have an inconvenience of having to contact the credit union?
Hmm.
Right.
And if they have to contact us, to them, that's not good service, even though they might get the most friendly, most personable, most knowledgeable person ever on the phone. To them, their definition of service is I don't want to call you. I don't want to have to
No.
interact with you. I want to be able to do it on my own. And then the times where they do, yes, we are there to provide that good service. But I think the way we think about service, it's not just about a friendly person on the other end of the phone or across from the teller line window. It's about kind of what we're offering and their self-service options and what they can do technology wise.
Yeah, right. The horror of having to make a phone call.
As we're getting ready to slide into kind of the second part of this interview, Bryce. So a couple of questions here, and I know you just mentioned you're 60 days in, which I think is really exciting. Honestly, I'm very excited for the things Bryce is getting ready to find out, you know, and report back to us. Honestly, but would you say you have an idea of what your leadership style is like?
I'm not going to say the phrase. It was almost like the mess around and find out. Like
Yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah.
am I in the find out phase? Is that what that is? But
Sure.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah.
Yes. Mess around and find out just doesn't have the ring to it that the
it
other way of
doesn't.
saying it.
But we're going to try to
But
keep
I
it.
understand. Yes.
So yeah, leadership style. I mean, honestly, I think I really have felt in the past that I have worked better when I have been empowered to kind of do kind of my thing. Essentially, obviously, there's a strategy for the credit union, and everybody needs to be rowing in the right direction.
Yeah.
But I really like an empowered team, from the leadership team down to the frontline staff. And we've had some conversations here, even though it's been 60 days. I can't remember where I kind of read it, but I think I kind of read somebody kind of talk about just how they value the trait of curiosity, like a healthy curiosity
Yeah.
kind of among staff. And
Yeah.
kind of when they said that, it kind of rung like, yeah, you know what, that's actually kind of what I kind of value too. I really want frontline stuff questioning, like, why do we do things?
Hmm.
And there might be, I'll use the joke as like, yeah, they might say like, why do we have to fill out this CTR or something like that? It's like,
Okay.
well, it's regulatory. Like they'll
Right.
learn either one of
Right.
two things. They'll learn exactly why, like, no, Dad, we have to do it that way
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
the law. And then the other side is sometimes they might bring something up and ask a manager, like, why are we doing it this way? And the manager might be like, you know what? I don't know why we do it that way.
Mhm.
That's a good question. And then
Yeah.
we can really start kind of thinking about, are we doing things the right way? Are we doing them efficiently? So I value curiosity. I value empowerment, as long as they feel like they have the guidelines,
Yeah.
and I guess kind of make sure we kind of are in the same direction and we're not getting too far off track. Then I think letting people kind of run with what they want to run with, I think, is having many leaders in the credit union, I think, is only
Nice.
going to be more
Hmm.
beneficial.
I like that. Sounds great. Bryce, I wanted to just go back quickly to just talking quickly about Oregonians membership. I asked about the age range there, but I'm sure there are also some differences in just what are the members experiencing in Oregon compared to where you were in Arizona, in terms of like economic factors. Like I mean, the Portland area has a pretty high cost of living, I think, like compared to some other states. I was just curious if you had any thoughts on that, and like what's unique about the membership in that, what do they need the most right now from their financial institution as far as, financial help? in a time that, a lot of people do seem to be struggling.
I think yes, there's always obviously some nuances here that I'm kind of becoming more accustomed to, and just trying to figure out how we can kind of serve our needs here, because that's obviously my priority, is making sure that we're serving our membership, giving them what they need. And I think a lot of it boils down to having a trusted financial partner, somebody that they know that they can always contact, rely upon. But even then, at the end of the day, I kind of told our staff, like, we're in the business of money. I mean, I think we need to have good rates. We need to have good products. And that's something that we're kind of doing a whole kind of review right now currently, just to make sure that we're positioned correctly to be able to offer members what they really need. It's a little bit less about we dictate, hey, this is what you want, right? I think it's a little bit of making sure that we're not just kind of forcing a product on them in that sense, and we're trying to figure out where the market's going, where the needs are, what do they need for their daily lives, and what's going to give them the peace of mind. So I think there are some things that we can do along that line, and we're building some products to do that. But really being that trusted financial partner, they always know they can go to, they know that they're going to be taken care of. And I know our staff here I did kind of when I first got here, did some surveys and talked to a lot of the staff. And what was really kind of, from a leader, kind of heartwarming in a lot of ways, was what they kind of came back and said, that we just really want to be able to help our members. And that was kind of when I asked them, what's the fear? What do you fear that I might do, or something like that? And they just didn't want to change being able just to sit down and really help members, which is great. I think that's a common thread among kind of credit union employees in the industry, not just solely here at Oregonians, that we just are there to really just help people. We feel like we have some tools and some knowledge that giving you a few extra bucks in the end of the month, I mean, that can have a big impact to people. So I think making sure we can kind of have that and be able to offer that to people is a huge benefit, and something we're going to try to do as much as we can.
Yeah, that seems like something that no credit union would want to stop doing, for sure. Definitely a common thread. One more, I guess, kind of serious question before we move on to some more fun stuff here in the interview. You mentioned briefly compliance when you were talking about, as a leader, and talking about things that need to get done at the credit union and explaining why. I was curious, from a regulatory and compliance standpoint, what would you say are some of the biggest challenges your credit union is facing, for its asset size, which is, I believe, about $340 million currently?
Yep.
And are you watching anything like, in Washington with any proposed regulations, or with NCUA, or might specifically impact your credit union if implemented?
Yeah, no, certainly. We're always looking at kind of the regulations that are out there in Washington. I think that the biggest kind of hurdles right now that I think are in play is kind of interchange is kind of up for on I guess debate type of thing, as well as the cap on credit cards rates. And while we're very pro consumer, pro member, we always want that to be kind of, I mean, the members benefit. I just don't know if those particular ones will shake out the way politicians would intend them to, and I think they would cause a lot of harm to the members. So as far as kind of just how would I say, just the regulatory kind of landscape, I think at a credit union our size, I do think we're big enough to stay out in front of it. But I kind of always view the regulatory kind of landscape as almost like this wave. And as long as you're out in front of it, you're okay. But if you ever get caught up into that wave, it just can kind of swallow you up, and you can just get too much regulations. And I know that some of the smaller credit unions are struggling with that because of all the demands that they have. And I know that the industry does try to kind of relax them a little bit to kind of alleviate what they encounter. But I think we are out in front of that wave, but to be honest, I think it's right behind us.
You're running a little bit.
Yeah.
Yep. It's within view, and we haven't cleared it, kind of thing. So we do deal with some of the regulatory burdens and things that we're asked to do that, like, man, this really kind of not distracts us. I always say we're going to follow all the regulations that we need to do, but sometimes we're kind of maybe churning through some things that are time consuming and kind of checking some boxes that just kind of maybe distract from what I believe our mission is just really helping our members.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to slide into the fun part of the interview, but before we get there, Bryce, when we met you a few weeks ago, kind of did a pre-chat just to get to know each other and all of that. You told us something really fun that you did, really unique, with your AI transcription tool during your first leadership meeting there at Oregonians Credit Union. Can you quickly tell us what you did with that?
Sure. So it kind of evolved in just kind of my mind as
Mhm.
we use AI to kind of transcribe meetings and
Yes.
create minutes. And I think that's very common in the industry. We all
Yes,
have
yes,
Zoom
yes.
and stuff like it's cool. It's super useful and I think we all love it. And so I think I just wanted to kind of just have a little bit of fun and I came across some different online tools that can generate music for you and I was like, "Oh, that's kind of cool." And the wheels kind of were turning. Well, how could I use this as maybe in the credit union or in business? And there might be some things that we can do with that. But then I had the thought, I was like, you know what? Like, wonder what happens if I throw some meeting minutes into there and kind of have it write some lyrics and do some
Okay.
other things. And we had a lot of fun. So I think I did that at my last meeting at Arrow. I did that
Oh,
towards the end of the meeting and it was a big hoot. Everybody had kind of a big laugh at it and it was a lot of fun to kind of hear kind of what it would come up with and it's making lyrics rhyme and
yeah.
kind of some creative things that it can do just in a few minutes. That was a lot of fun. And so went ahead and did that at the first management meeting
Yep.
here. And I guess I don't know if it was maybe backed by popular demand. Maybe I was like, hey, let's do this again. But I think everybody was on board with trying it again. And so
Uh-huh.
we've tried a few different genres. Some work better than others, to be honest, but it still is entertaining
So,
to
yeah.
have
So,
a little
so you've
recap.
fed the AI minutes from your meeting, fed it into AI. It created a country song.
Yep.
Yep. Now,
Yep.
if we can, producer Zach, insert a clip from that song right now, will you?
Yeah. Yeah, we're all here December 10th. Let's go. Well, Bryce took the wheel just 4 days in. He's running the show, but where do we begin? He's delivering babies, man, it's quite a limit. But the poor guy still can't pronounce Will Emmett. Kylie's 27, shaking from the caffeine vein. And Grant's old lady's clothes, if you know what I mean.
Okay, Bryce, that was hilarious. I truly, we actually got a preview of this before we recorded today, but holy smokes, that was funny. So
Impressive too.
totally,
Yeah.
but kind of spoiler, that's going to come back at the end of the episode. So
Oh.
hold on to that, but we need to move on.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. We will come back to our fun with music
Yes.
just in a bit here. But yes, Bryce, we need to move on to the second part of our interview. This is all about you. Are you ready?
Bryce.
Yeah, all good.
Okay. All right. So I know that you said you came from Arizona, born and raised there. So that was going to be my first question. What's your hometown? So which town in Arizona did you grow up in?
Grew up in the Glendale area, so that's just
Okay.
really just right next to Phoenix. You can drive. I mean, it's just a suburb of Phoenix, pretty much.
Okay, gotcha. So what would you say is something that the Glendale area is known for that you just can't find anywhere else in the United States?
I was about to say I try to kind of give like kind of just I don't even know where I would go with this one. I mean, Glendale. I mean, Phoenix as a whole. I mean, there's certain things
Yeah.
there. We have obviously the Phoenix Open and some other things. I mean, that's
Right.
kind of if you guys have watched that from afar, that's a pretty fun thing to
Sure.
go to and see all the crowds and people screaming. I was trying to think about Glendale specifically.
Yeah.
I mean, a great town. I loved it. I'm just trying to think if it's like famous for anything, and I can't really think of anything. I was kind of joking around, like thinking. I was like, you know what? Maybe we used to have something called Metro Center Mall, which doesn't exist anymore
Okay.
Okay.
because malls have just kind of gone by the wayside.
True.
I, for some reason, growing up, that's where they filmed the mall scene for Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Cool.
There we go.
Excellent.
Our claim to
Yeah.
fame.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. That is incredible.
It's
Yeah.
not. It's most excellent.
It's most, you know
yeah.
what? I stand corrected. Damn.
That's right.
You're totally right.
That is awesome. That is a fun fact.
I
Yeah.
love that. Okay, Bryce, I want to ask, what is, this is your first experience up in Oregon. What has surprised you most so far about the Oregon, Portland area?
Yeah, I think Oregon's awesome. Like it's just for me coming from something that so the desert does have its own beauty.
Yeah.
Fully aware of that. We have great sunsets over in Arizona, but just everything is just so green and just the plant life. Like it's
Sure.
just for somebody coming from the desert, like this is just like awesome.
Mm.
So it's been fun just to see. I mean, you see it in the city, in the kind of Portland area,
Yeah.
and in Milwaukee where we're at. Taking some drives to the coast. The coast was amazing.
Oh, nice.
Oregon is just super diverse. Drove down to Prineville. We have a branch over there. It's a totally different kind of environment,
Okay.
but I'm just really just enjoying just kind of the outdoors and just
Yeah.
kind of how the vibe of just Oregon and everything that they have here.
Love it.
And whether it's true or not, I know you can get down to like downtown Portland, and that's
Mhm.
kind of more of a big city kind of vibe.
Yeah.
But I kind of feel kind of a lot of the other areas, Portland just kind of feels like a really big small town to me in a lot of ways. There's a lot more just kind of like mom and pop and boutique shops, and
Yeah.
whereas Arizona is a little more of kind of your large chains and big box kind of on every corner kind of
Yeah.
thing, and it has just a little bit different kind of feel and vibe to it. I'm
Okay.
I'm totally digging it.
Great.
Nice. Glad to hear. That's a good way to describe it. Yeah, I agree. Lots of locally owned businesses is definitely embraced in the area. So
Yeah.
very nice. I'm glad to hear you're enjoying it. Okay, next question is kind of a fun one. We've asked a few people this before. It's always really interesting, and sometimes it reveals like kind of a hidden talent or interest of the
Mhm.
person you wouldn't know about. But if
So
you,
no
let's say you had to
pressure.
go back and you had to choose like just a entirely different career outside of business and technology, financial services. Is there something specific that you would choose?
Yeah, good question. I think in high school, I think I always wanted to be an architect. That was kind of what I was
Oh,
taking some school like classes, and it was kind of weird how I got into the industry is because I was in high school and
right.
like trying to be an architect, and then we didn't even have a computer system at the time.
Mhm.
Old amber screen terminals and all the fun
Sure.
stuff the little credit union had, and they hired a network admin. And one day he walked up to me and says, "Hey, do you want to be my PC tech?" And in high school, I was like, "Sure."
Yeah.
And then honestly, from then I've kind of taken the IT route, and then that kind of brought me in, kept me in the industry, and I'm where I'm at now. But
Right.
probably architect, maybe. And I've always had the thought, like, you know what? Maybe I enjoy kind of like fixing and diagnosing things. Like maybe I could have been a doctor, but
Oof.
I don't know if I could have done like the bodily fluids thing. So
No.
Yeah.
that might have disqualified me at some point. I like the diagnosing part of it,
Yeah.
but as long as all the bodily fluids stay inside.
Oof.
That is
You know what?
yeah.
That is a motto I have for life. You know? Hey, a quick follow up to that, Bryce. Why architect? I mean, was it like a Mike Brady thing? You know,
Yeah,
what
good
inspired you?
question. I don't know. Maybe the Brady Bunch
Okay.
shaped me more than I thought it
Sure.
did.
I always wanted to have diagrams that I could roll up and put in a cardboard tube. You know,
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think maybe there was some drawing. Like I haven't done a whole lot of drawing now, like
Yeah.
in the rest of my life, but
Right.
kind of drawing and doing some other things.
Yeah.
I actually worked a summer for like a surveying company
Oh, there you go.
over in Arizona.
Huh.
I was taking a drafting class, so I had the old whatever those little rulers are, little
Yeah.
triangular shaped kind of things,
Yep.
the scale rulers, and so I did
Yeah.
some. I
Mm.
have some maps that are actually on record somewhere in the Maricopa County recorder's office. I don't know
Okay.
if they're right, but
Aw.
I did them.
It's kind of adorable. R.I.P. Mike
Yeah.
Brady. Okay, back to your childhood really quick, Bryce. What was the first album, CD, piece of music you remember buying or listening to?
Well, good question. It wouldn't have been a CD. It would have been
Okay.
a cassette.
Sure. Cassette.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I remember I had my shiny new Walkman, although it wasn't a Walkman, it was the knockoff Panasonic
Yeah.
or whatever.
Walkman with 4 W's. Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
But it was Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, Into the Great Wide Open. That was the first album.
Great. That's the first.
I think it is the first, yeah.
What'd you think of it at the time? Were you like considered hip? You know?
I don't know if it, well, at the time, I don't know if Tom Petty was necessarily even, I mean, this was 80s.
That was heyday of Tom Petty. I mean, he couldn't have been more popular.
Yeah, I guess he was, but I'm not sure if he was that popular with with 10-year-olds.
No, probably not.
That. So,
No.
but so maybe it was a little bit more adult for, I guess, maybe that age or whatever. But
Yeah.
I just remember hearing the song on the radio. I
Yeah.
just really dug it, and so I was like, yeah, let's get that as my first album. So
Okay, that's awesome.
listened to that many a time, both sides, flip it around,
I love
rewind
it.
it, all the fun stuff.
Also, R.I.P.
Yes.
Tom Petty.
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
That's our theme.
Okay. Okay, final question here, Bryce, also entertainment related. What was the last movie you watched?
Last movie I watched was probably on the plane back to Portland because
Okay.
we've been kind of doing the family still back in Arizona until
Sure.
summer.
Oh,
So
okay. Yeah.
it was the second part of Dune. So
Oh, Doom
Oh,
Part 2.
which was okay.
Yeah.
I think I actually did. Well, I say I read the book, but I think these days I'm more of an audiobook kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
So I did the audiobook, which I think overall I liked the audiobook. I don't know if it was like my favorite story ever, but it
Yeah.
was intriguing to kind of see this fictitious kind of people and how they would live and how
Sure.
water was like super precious and stuff. And it was interesting in how the author kind of wrote that. But
The
the movie was
Spies.
okay.
okay.
Yeah, Part 3 is coming out, what, this year? I
Okay.
think?
Okay. There you go.
Something like that.
Well, and that flight, it's a perfect flight length for a movie. Isn't it like 2.5 hours?
It is. Honestly, it is just about perfect for us. We can get about one movie in, and then after that, you're
You're ready to fly. Yeah, it's a great way to pass the time. Yeah, because I go
Okay.
back and forth between Portland and LA pretty often, and it's a
Great.
nice little time to catch up on a movie. So nice.
yeah.
Okay, now, all right, let's get to the next. We're gonna circle back to our AI song theme here for this episode. Yeah, we have a little treat for our listeners now. So we decided we're going to take a cue from Bryce's creative use of AI during his meetings. We decided to make a song of our own based on this interview that we
Yep.
just concluded, and we're going to go ahead and play it now. Bryce, I think, has been in the background getting things queued up. Yeah. So Bryce, how's that looking? And also, are you going to choose like maybe a different genre just for fun?
Yeah, we can choose if you guys want to select a genre or something. Some seem to work better than others, but they all seem to be entertaining. I guess I will say that.
How
So,
about,
Okay.
yeah, how about just pop or rock or something like that?
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever you think might work.
Got it. I'll have to find. Sometimes I try to think of a song to model it after,
Oh.
and it doesn't always do it 100% the same.
Sure,
but it
sure,
needs to be
sure.
the style from it.
Like, I'm only thinking of terrible, terrible songs.
Either that, or we try to do Tom Petty into the Great Wide
Yeah,
Open.
you know what? Let's do Tom
We're gonna
Petty.
do that just in honor of the
Yeah,
the first album.
I think that's a great idea.
Well, Bryce packed his bags in the desert sun, left the Glendale heat where his tech begun. Where Bill and Ted had an excellent time. Now he's headed north to a wetter climb with a knockoff Walkman and a mixtape pen. He was heading out to the Great Wide Open again. Now he's sitting down with the CU Times, Michael and Natasha dropping podcasts rhymes, talking about the shift from his ET days when he fixed the screens in a server haze. Didn't want a knucklehead to take the wheel, so he stepped right up with a brand new deal. He's a CEO for the Oregonians, building better banking for the Oregonians. Saying bye to the 90s and the old routines of bringing top tier tech to the younger teens. Yeah, nobody wants to use a telephone, just let them do it all from the mobile zone. He survived the spice on the sands of Dune, on the airplane ride on a Tuesday noon. Now he takes some minutes from a corporate room and makes an AI country song to clear the gloom. With a healthy curiosity, he leads the floor, keeping friendly service at the credit union core. He's a CEO for the Oregonians, building better banking for the Oregonians. Singing back to the 90s and the old routines, we're bringing top tier tech to the younger teens. Yeah, nobody wants to use the telephone, just let them do it all from their mobile zone. Hey! From the Arizona cactus to the Portland trees, he's looking out for all the Gen Z needs. So raise up a glass to the brand new boss, turning boring meetings into country songs. He's a CEO for the Oregonians, building better banking for the Oregonians. Singing back to the 90s and the old routines, we're bringing top tier tech to the younger teens. Yeah, nobody wants to use the telephone, just let them do it all from their mobile zone. the chat today. The Oregonians are on their way out in the great wide open.
Wow.
Incredible.
That is awesome. I mean, no, and it was kind of like I was thinking maybe it'll be about his journey, and it pretty much was.
It was.
And
Bryce,
it was
what'd you think?
hilarious.
No, it's I'm always entertained because I don't know what's coming out the other end of that when we
Yeah,
do it,
yeah.
and so it's a first time for me.
Got
Usually,
the
every
Bill
time
and
as
Ted
well.
reference. That
Bill
was
and Ted
funny.
made it in, and he came with his knockoff Walkman
The knockoff
on the
Walkman.
plane. And like, it was
That
just
was really
hilarious.
cool. Bryce, thank you for introducing that parlor trick to
There
us.
you go.
Yeah.
Oh,
That
that
was
was
fun.
so
Great.
funny.
Okay. Well, I hope
Oh, thanks.
everyone enjoyed it. I sure did.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was definitely a new experience for us, having fun with AI. So, all right. Well, I guess we should wrap it up here.
Oh, yeah.
Bryce Mortensen, this new CEO at Oregonians Credit Union. Thank you so much for coming on the show today. This was a lot of fun.
Thank you, Bryce.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you for the time.
Of course.
And to all of our listeners, thank you for downloading today's show. And please subscribe to Shared Accounts with CU Times and all of the normal podcast places. And please share the episodes with everyone you know, coworkers, relatives, friends, AI-generated people,
Absolutely.
everyone in your life.
Absolutely. Feel free to rate us too. We love that. Thank you so much to our sponsor for today's episode, Q2, for supporting the show, and CU Times. Thank you, Q2. As always, thank you so much to our producer, Zach Nyiso. Thanks, Zach. Join us again next time for a new episode of Shared Accounts with CU Times. Until then, thanks for listening.